breeze took the clouds all away. It swept the sky like a broom and got ready for a very special day. This is a very special time. Show me a hill I can climb. Give me a mountain to move, and I'll prove that it's a very special day. I woke up early this morning with gloom on my head. Had a big feeling to climb back in bed. Then I looked in the mirror, and somebody said, wake up, wake up. It's time for you to lose the blues, and this is a very special treat. Tell it to everyone you meet, that life is all for living and love is all for giving. So this is a very special day. Tell it to everyone along the way that this is a very special day. I woke up early this morning with gloom on my head. Had a big feeling to climb back in bed. Then I looked in the mirror and somebody said, wake up, wake up. It's time for you to lose the blues, and this is a very special treat. Tell it to everyone you meet, that life is all for living and love is all for giving. So this is a very special day. Tell it to everyone along the way that this is a very special day.
A very special day we do have. We're on to the 24th day of January, and it is a Monday. And actually, my co-host and my partner this morning, and also the guest wearing a couple hats, I have Melissa Jeremiah from Hoosier Uplands. Good morning, Melissa. Happy Monday.
Good morning. Happy Monday to everyone.
Yay. We're moving right along here. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Walmart, Meadowview Healthcare Center, Salem Crossing, Hoosier Uplands, Celebrity Home Loans, Skyline Suites, Dr. Mindy Gunn, Dr. Black's Eye Associates. Wonderful sponsors every morning right here on Coffee Club. We are on to the 24th day of January. Today is, Melissa, Beer Can Appreciation Day.
Oh,
Okay.
Well, I do remember when I was a little kid, I knew people that collected beer cans.
Oh, yeah, they did, didn't they? I remember that now that you say that. And when they stack them really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Now, I'm not a beer drinker, but they do have, I can't remember what company. I think I don't know. I better not say. Anyway, some company has got a farm on it, a farm scene that I saw. And that's really a pretty, I actually saw it on TikTok. But it's a real pretty, like a farm scene on the can. And I thought, oh, wow, that's so pretty.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's really neat cans.
Yeah. So
I know that they used to have a beer called Nappin' in a Hammock, and it had a picture of a sloth on it.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Because someone had showed it to me, because I think sloths are really cool animals, and it was called Nappin' a Hammock.
Oh, that's hilarious. No, I have not seen that. Now I'm going to have to watch for that one. But yeah, they get pretty creative, I think, on those. Yeah. So this is a Beer Can Appreciation Day. Okay. Melissa and I just gave some appreciation there. This is also Belly Laugh Day. I love to laugh. What about you, Melissa?
I do too. And I know that sometimes it drives my family crazy, because they're like, you're laughing so loud. And I said, I can't help it.
No.
I just like to laugh.
Absolutely. And yes, and I'm the same way. And mine completely get embarrassed, but that's okay. That's what we're here for, right, Melissa? To embarrass our family.
Yes.
So Belly Laugh Day, which they say, and I'm sure as a nurse, you know that belly laughing is actually really good for you.
Yeah, it is. It's good to laugh.
All right. And Better Business Communication Day. I love that.
Yeah.
Community Manager Appreciation Day. Macintosh Computer Day, National Just Do It Day. It's Monday, just do it, right? Just get it done. This is also National Edie's Pie Patent Day. National Peanut Butter Day. I love peanut butter. Do you love peanut butter, Melissa?
Yeah, we like peanut butter in our family.
Yeah, you can't beat it. Just so good. And this is also take a what is it? A grizzled prospector day. A grizzled prospector day. A grizzled prospector day. I think like coal mining, or not mining, but gold.
Like a gold miner?
Yeah. Remember that show, Go Fever?
Yes.
Yeah. So I guess it's that. There. Talk like one. How would you talk? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I can come up with pirate. My gold. I don't know.
I was thinking like there's gold down there, hills.
Oh, there you go. Now you're good. There you go.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, remember on Toy Story wasn't Stinky Pete? I think Stinky Pete when I think he was one of those, and he was a Stinky Pete. He was not nice. Okay, I watch a lot of cartoons. Can you tell, Melissa? That's where I get my belly laughing, though, right? That's where we all laugh at, for sure. So get out and enjoy. It is the 24th day, and we're almost to the sandwich, the middle or the end of the month, and crazy to think about. I do want to say, Melissa, we talked a little before we actually went on the air, and our prayers and thoughts for usually my co-host on Mondays is Laura Lee, and Laura talked with us Friday, and she is battling COVID, and want to say wish her a speedy recovery. She's trying to get some rest, and I hope that's what she's doing right now. And I think that hopefully she'll be feeling better. But I think she's had a lot of upper respiratory, and it's not so much of the sick feeling, just a lot of upper respiratory. And you and I were talking about some of the symptoms that we're seeing, and I'll let you share, Melissa.
I was just going to say, I have known probably 2 or 3 people that their only symptom was a runny nose, and it wasn't like a horrible runny nose. It was just kind of, a runny nose like we get sometimes. And the one person that I know that had it, they were going to see a grandchild, and they thought, well, maybe we should test just to make sure, because they didn't want to carry anything to the new grandbaby. And he tested positive for COVID because of that, but the only symptom was a runny nose. So, I mean, but one thing I can say is it seems like that even though that some people are getting it that are vaccinated and that are boosted, it seems like that their symptoms don't end up being as severe. So, I'm hoping that, for Laura, that she ends up with, not severe symptoms, and it goes away quickly for her.
Right. And with her, I mean, and I will speak, on her behalf, because she actually has done everything almost by the book. She's done everything, like what they've told them to do, social distancing, mask, and getting vaccinated. I mean, she's done, and that just proves that, it can happen, and just, and it's good, especially like for the couple you were just talking about that went ahead and got checked before they went and saw the new baby. That's a good idea to make sure.
Well, and also I think that some people just assume that, what's going on with them is just being in Kentuckiana. I mean, we all have upper respiratory type stuff. I know that I had gotten tested, it was around Christmas time. I'm not sure exactly when, but I had sinus type symptoms, and then I got a fever. So I thought, well, I should probably get checked. So I tested myself at home. It was negative. I went to urgent care. It was negative. They did the one that, takes 2 or 3 days, and it was negative. My flu was negative. So mine really ended up being a sinus infection. But, it's good to get checked out just to make sure that it is what you think it is.
I agree. And just, and that was another thing we talked about, how do you know? Because in this area, we have so many allergies. We have so many people, that are battling that kind of stuff, and a runny nose or a cough normally, before COVID, we just had that stuff. We never, just went on, you know what I mean? But it's kind of difficult to know when you have it. I've heard other people say that too, that they didn't realize they had it either. So.
And also, be respectful of others. If you think, that you could possibly have something, and you aren't sure what it is, 100%, keep your distance and don't go up. I mean, like I don't know how many times, not recently since COVID started necessarily, but like before, you'd have the person that come up and just be talking to you and then hug you and all this and that. And then as they were leaving, be like, I've just been so sick here lately and had this. And then they start telling you about their sick. And so, if you aren't sure, go ahead and, continue your social distance, especially if it's somebody that's got a compromised immune system or maybe that's, a little kid or, an elderly person, that sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And you're totally right. And and also, we're seeing more masks being worn, it seems like, which I think we've talked about that before, that's a good thing. But, and always, this is what we're going to go into. This goes into our segue this morning about, being kind and being that person that allows, if somebody feels like they need to wear that mask, then don't mask shame them.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think that we should let people, if a person doesn't feel comfortable being out without a mask, I feel that we should allow that without making them feel bad about it.
Right. And also, Melissa, let's jump right into our topic, because this is good, and this is a good reminder on a Monday, to start our week off. And, a lot going on, there's still things going on. But also, if a person doesn't feel like they need to be at an event or doesn't feel comfortable about going somewhere.
You mean like to allow them to be able to yes. feel that comfort level yes, of
exactly saying like if there's something going on or an event going on or something, or okay, let's say going to the grocery store, if you don't feel comfortable, there's no reason like for people to say, oh well, they just don't feel like comfortable, like that, when it's okay for them. If they don't feel that comfortable, then use the online grocery shopping. Use, if it's okay to have that. Everybody's different and everybody has a right to what they feel.
Yes. And, and maybe, kind of, be on the lookout for like neighbors. Like if you have, like one of our friends had said that they've been kind of keeping an eye on their neighbor because her husband had passed away and she's an elderly woman. And so, maybe, find out their phone number and, give them a call every once in a while. And if you're headed to the store, say, is there anything I could pick up for you? And I mean, it doesn't, take that much longer to pick up a few items for someone else. And then maybe they would just want them left on their porch. Maybe, they don't want to have contact with somebody. But, I feel like looking out for other people is a big part of what we need to be doing for each other as neighbors.
I agree. Absolutely. And that's something, yeah. And we were taught that, I mean, some of these like principles, some of these things that we're like trying to get into play and go back to practice are things that we learned in preschool.
Yeah.
Washing our hands, being respectful of others, right?
There's just, there's so many things that I think that we get taught, with little kids, and then they kind of tend to go by the wayside. But I think that there's a reason we were taught those things, because they do help as, all the way to death. It's like you can learn certain things that you can do from kindergarten until you die, that you should continue to do all that whole time.
Absolutely. Well, and you bring up some good points too, that as far as like, just, and I think that the when you first said, when we first talked, I thought you meant bees as in honey, like as in nurturing, taking care of yourself. And it was like, be kind, be thoughtful, all of these wonderful food for thoughts. And I guess, some good suggestions, Melissa.
Well, and the reason I did come up with the idea was because I seen this article, and it was about actual bees, the bees that buzz, and they were talking. There was an article that I had read where a man was he was a beekeeper, and he had 3 bees that had somehow gotten caught up in his honey collection, and so they were just covered in honey, and they weren't going to make it because they were going to drown. And so the little girl just begged him to take the bees and dip them out and put them in a little cup and set them out and see what happened. At least give them a chance. And so it ended up that all 3 bees lived because bees from their hive flew over and cleaned the honey off of them. And so the bees helped, their hive mates or whatever. And so the end of that ended with saying that we should all be sisters, be peers, be teammates, and always be kind, always. And it says that those are things that you can learn from bees. So then I got to kind of looking, because I thought that's probably not even a true story. Well, bees really will clean honey off each other, or clean things off each other. Bees are kind of unique creatures after I got to reading about them and the things that they will do for each other. And so we need to follow some of their lead.
I love that. That's really a cool story. I hadn't heard that. That's really pretty awesome. I know, they make really good, good stuff, and the way they do it, and the way they, respect each other and get along. I mean, that's wonderful. And then helping each other out. That is good food for thought for sure, and definitely a cool story, definitely. But and that just kind of, you relate that to our community and to where we live, and just taking care of each other and helping each other out right now. And we have several community members that actually are battling sickness and battling all this, and it's just good food for thought to helping out, or praying for them is, of course, the number one. But calling them, or helping them out any way that we can.
Right. And also, one thing also to think about is that when you're kind to other people, that it also helps your own personal mental condition. It lowers your stress levels. It increases the production of certain chemicals in your brain, dopamine, oxytocin, and serotonin. And so by helping others, you actually help yourself mentally, and it helps you to feel less stress by helping others.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think there's a lot of us that feel better when we do for others, and I think that's a great thing.
And I found a list that said that, to offer a helping hand. And so, that can be, everybody at some point in their life needs a helping hand. It's just, paying enough attention to your friends and your family and neighbors, people in the community, to see what you can, in what way could you help? Because there's always some way that you can help a situation.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes just do it. If someone says they don't need anything or whatever, just, take it upon yourself to do it.
Yeah.
And help out. There's nothing more when someone doesn't feel well, if you can just, help them out and somehow, or, just let them know, call them or text them or whatever your means, or go. It's hard to check on them because, if they're quarantining, but there's other ways of doing it. And we're really very blessed that we have the technology we have.
Yeah. And I think that most people, if you just ask, I think most people are the majority of people, I think, would say, no, I'm fine. Yeah. Or, no, we got this, or when they really don't.
Exactly.
And so I know that when I had breast cancer several years ago, one of my neighbors, just, out of nowhere, sent down with their son. They had cooked us like a lasagna and had made us a salad and had even baked us brownies and brought them down one night for us to eat. And I mean, we appreciated that so much. And I mean, even like over 10 years later, I remember that they just, they didn't come over and then, come in the house or anything. It's like they just kind of sent their son and he knocked on the door and he gave us the stuff and off he went. But, we can all do things like that for each other.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's good food for thought, for sure. And those are things that, that just mean the world. If you can fix a supper for someone or, send something over, it can be, it really means a lot.
And they said that you can, send care packages to people no matter, it could just be something little. It doesn't have to be like something extravagant. I know that there's been some times that we've had people at work that have been off and to have surgery or something, and we've, taken up a collection, and Jackie that used to work here, she's retired, that she always just knew what to get for people. Like she knew things about them that no one else knew about them or whatever. She really took the time to get to know what people liked. And so, she would be our one that would go out and shop with the money that we had taken up. And she would, if somebody liked to do puzzles, she would get them puzzle books, or she would get them, like some slippers, some nice slippers, or a robe, or, so, I mean, it could be as much as knowing that your neighbor likes to do Sudoku puzzles or something, and taking a couple of puzzle books and sticking them, on her porch and texting her and saying, there's something on the porch for you. I mean, so there doesn't have to be a lot of money involved.
No, I agree. Yeah, you're totally right. And that can be you're totally right. It's whatever you want to put in, as far as money, whatever you can do. You're totally right. Yeah. And I know, where like families have been in the hospital, of course, right now, this wouldn't be the case, but where they've taken coolers of, just soft drinks and, lunch meat for the families that are there. But of course, now we know that we're in a different world right now. That's not quite the case, but, doing stuff like that, just random, or, baking a meal, baking some cookies, or right now hot chocolate, and just leaving it on the doorstep, I think is a great thing.
Well, and I know that one time when Sean was in the hospital, and we were going down to Louisville, a lot to check on him and different things, and then plus working and things. And so one day Jeff had went and mowed our yard, and then he was getting ready to go over to Sean's to mow Sean's yard, and we got there and the yard was mowed.
Oh, I love that.
We never really for sure found out who did it, but it was so appreciated that, someone, that's what they decided they could do to help us out, and so they mowed Sean's yard. I mean, so, it can be things like that, too. Not, don't go mow their yard today because it's cold out. Yeah. But, there's things you can always do. Or, like, Paul Jolly, he lived across the street from us, and one time it snowed. Like, we got tons and tons of snow around Christmas one year, and he had a snowblower, so he went and like cleared the driveway for all the neighbors. I mean, so it could be anything.
A random act of kindness always goes, and it doesn't go unnoticed. It means so much to the person, and those are just good food for thoughts on a Monday, and or any day, every day, but just a good way to start off the week, right?
Right. And I think sometimes that's something we've forgotten for some reason. I think everyone's so wrapped up in just, the COVID stuff and, just so much division in the country and things. I think that sometimes people become so focused on that they forget that, we could be, still to this day, continue those acts of kindness, like, and maybe that will get us through this.
Yeah, That is true, and I think there's been a lot of sickness and the news and trying to figure it out, and and a lot of uneasiness about what to do and what not to do, and I think those are things that have been on the forefront, and we've not really looked at let's go back to the basics of what we know, and let's, instead of trying to let that overwhelm us, let's stay focused on the real things, what matters, people.
Right. And, and one of the things, I mean, now since a lot of people are wearing masks, it's maybe harder to do, but, it says to smile at others, but, I have seen some of the masks that have, like, the rips that show, like the person smiling. Or I've even seen some of the masks that say, I'm smiling under here. But you can still, even with the mask, you with their eyes and things, you can still tell when someone smiles at you.
Absolutely. For sure. Yeah. Yeah. And smile with your eyes. Yeah. And I think you can tell that. So
also, you can still compliment other people, like when you're in the store or something, something like that, and not have to, get up close to them to do it or anything. You can just be like, that's a really nice purse, or, that shirt's nice, or, and I think that sometimes we just forget to do those kind of things anymore.
Yeah.
Always makes your day when you're out and someone, says, oh, I like your shoes. I mean, or anything. I mean, I like the color of your fingernail polish, or, whatever you like about the person, if you tell them, because, you generally make that person's day by just saying something nice.
Yeah, I agree. And sometimes, like, you think it, but you just don't say it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that's a pretty purse, or oh, that's a pretty pair of shoes. So I always try to make that point where I say it. Yeah. Yeah, I think those are good food for thought. And if we need to kind of, go back and remind everybody of this stuff and remind ourselves, just to be kind, be thoughtful, and definitely, we realize that our state, most of our a lot of our counties are red in our state. And I know that there's a lot of businesses, and I know schools, and everybody trying to keep going on, but it's, there's also a lot of difficulty, and hopefully that, if we could stay on the positive and look at what we do have instead of what we don't have.
Right. Yeah. Because I mean, I just feel like that we all have things to be thankful for. Some days it's harder. I think for everyone has days where, like, it's harder for them to find the positive thing. But there's always something positive in your life if you can just think on it.
Yeah. And when something's not, there's always somebody worse. That was what I was always taught, as a little girl. There's always somebody worse, with something going on in their life. So, just look at what you do have in the positives, and try to, shake out those negatives.
Right.
So good food for thought on a Monday, definitely. And Melissa, I do want to, we'll talk some more about this too, but I do want to tell we did have several local basketball games over the weekend. I do need to get those in. Eastern played Saturday at Silver Creek. They lost 66-46. Girls lost to Brownstown 50-30. The Salem boys dropped 2 games Friday night and to Corridon, and Saturday night to North Harrison. The West Washington boys had 2 of their 3 games postponed. Michigan beat IU 80-62 and ended the 12th game home win streak. Hoosiers will play Penn State Wednesday night at 8:30 and Saturday at Maryland at 2:30. Boilermakers beat Northwestern yesterday 80-60 and will play Iowa on Thursday night. And the girls' sectional draw was held last night and was a big thing on WSLM. And looks like Salem will be a sectional 30, class 3A, and got the bye, and will play on Friday, February the 4th, and will face the winner of the Charlestown and Corridon game. Eastern will play Henryville in the first game, and the sectional at Crawford County, and West Washington plays Edinburgh in the first game of the Class A sectional 62. And let's see. Then the national regional games are scheduled for Tuesday, February the 1st, and run through Saturday, February the 5th. And the regional round will start on February 12th, and semi-state the 19th. So, of course, we'll keep everyone in the loop on that. Also, Melissa, this is a good positive for a Monday morning. We're doing a big promotion with McDonald's, and we're going to be giving away some breakfast. And speaking of breakfast items, from the blueberry muffins to their apple fritters to their cinnamon rolls to their cookies to their McCafes. We know
an iced coffee as we speak from McDonald's.
Yeah. Okay, well, the temperature is dropping, so cozy up with McDonald's and McCafe. Stop by your local McDonald's for McCafe favorite, like a classic premium roast coffee. That's me. I love their coffee. Or a baked good, busy morning. And what did you say you had?
I have an iced coffee.
Iced coffee. Those are so good, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
It's a great way to actually start off the morning. So we're going to be starting off some mornings here this week with McDonald's. I'm loving it. I love to do promotions with McDonald's. Everybody loves McDonald's, right? And their coffee is like the best. So I actually drink it in my Keurig. I actually have the little coffee pods of McDonald's.
Oh, well, that's cool.
Yeah, that's how much I love their coffee. But of course, my big treat, and if I do something good in the family, I said, you know how you reward a dog with a bone? I get rewarded with a cup of coffee from McDonald's. So.
I know here at work every now and then the girls will be like, we're going to McDonald's at lunch. Do you want a coffee? And I'm like, you know that I want a coffee.
You know that. That's right. Yeah, yeah. And their fountain drinks are so good too. They have that special taste, always a good taste. And of course, all the great stuff. Also the breakfast sandwiches that they have, from the bacon, egg, and cheese to the egg McMuffin to the bacon, egg, and cheese McGriddle sausage burrito. Great way to start off your morning, right? Yeah.
Now we're all hungry.
I know. Well, they're sending me all this food stuff, and I'm like, yeah.
Biscuits and gravy in.
Oh yeah, and you don't call them pancakes, you call them hot cakes, right?
So, hot cakes.
Yeah.
Her granddaughter likes the hot cakes from there.
Yes, me too. And yeah, the biscuits, and then of course they have the McChicken biscuit, and yeah. So all of it is so good, and biscuits and gravy, you can't go wrong. Yeah. Yeah. Also with their hash browns, those are so good too. So, and mini McMuffins and all kinds of stuff. So anyway, we're going to be talking and giving away some great food this week. So tune in on Coffee Club for that. It's a fun promotion for sure, and warming us up with McDonald's, right? I'm loving it, right?
Yeah, I was trying to think of that.
Yeah, you did good. Oh, Melissa, I need to record you doing that. Yeah, there you go. That's very good. Yeah, I'm a McDonald's fan for sure. So, also, Melissa, a little bit of interesting, I guess, fun fact for Monday, and this is something to talk at supper tonight. You can talk at the supper table. And I know you like trivia, Melissa. I know you like to know things in trivia. So, have you ever heard of the phrase called "cut to the chase"?
Yes.
I went through like a habit where I was saying that all the time. Like when somebody, and I'm a terribly long storyteller. So I know that people could say that all the time to me, cut to the chase. Well, that actually comes from the silent film era, when movies were usually long and love stories that ended with a thrilling chase scene. Some people would say cut to the chase, and it meant skip all the boring detail of love and get to the chase part.
That's funny. I didn't know that.
That would be that's good trivia for Valentine's Day, right?
Oh, it is.
How many men would say, just cut to the chase, okay? Forget all that candies and flowers, right?
I know that I have been told before to get to the point.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
It's like I'll go on and on. Get to the point.
Yeah, I get told that all the time. So I do that, and I always say, hang on, I'm circling the wagon. I'm going to get there, okay? But I feel like all of those little details that I have to add to it have to be talked about, right?
They matter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they matter. They do. All right. Another this is interesting. In 2013, scientists in China were able to grow a human tooth from scratch using stem cells taken from the human waste. They grew a tooth in 2013. So I don't know that went over very well, right? And I'm kind of curious which tooth did it grow? You know what I mean? Because there's different shapes of teeth, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how that went over. I don't know that they're still doing that to this day. But those are definitely things that you can talk about at supper tonight, right? For sure.
The tooth collection.
Yeah, there we go.
Teeth.
Yeah. Well, if you can kind of, if you were a child, you could really make out like a bandit with the tooth fairy, right?
Yeah. You'd be like, you've already lost 60 teeth.
Yeah.
What is wrong with
Yeah, the tooth fairy might catch on, right? Might be a little suspicious of that. Melissa, it's always fun hanging out with you. Hoosier Uplands. Let's talk about, because I do love to talk about, because behind your back, if you knew and behind David Miller and the whole group, the whole gang, I think you guys are rock stars for all you do. And I can't say enough, and I wouldn't just say this, I would say this behind your back about how Hoosier Uplands, and what a blessing that we have this in our community, because you guys do so many great things. And, I'll be sitting somewhere in a meeting or talking with someone, and they'll say, oh, well, Hoosier Uplands did. And I'm like, does that surprise me? No, because you guys do so many great things, and you do it. And so many times people don't even realize that you do it. And I just want to make sure that we know all the services that are available for Hoosier Upland out there.
Well, one of the things that I always recommend, first and foremost, is our phone number is 800-827-2219. And so that gets you in touch with what Becky calls the mothership. So, it's like if you're not sure, who to call or where to call, or to see if a service is potentially available, call that number and they will get you through to someone in our services if it's something we can help with.
Absolutely. Yeah. And just, from I just want to kind of touch some of the bases, because from housing, because that's such a blessing for Hoosier Uplands and their great things that they do, and fixing up places and maybe places that had been abandoned, or, things that, buildings. And I know in communities, all communities want like every building to be utilized. And for you, Hoosier Uplands, to take buildings and fix them up and use them for housing or for apartments or and then not to mention, with someone's having trouble with their electricity bill, their heating bill, to help out with that, to also helping out with the preschool, to the and then to the mental with the Serenity Now up in Bedford, and then also the services just that you do as far as like helping out with different grants in community, or different things you do for the communities that you serve. And I know our mayor, Justin Green, we've talked a lot about Hoosier Uplands, and I know that they've been so good for the city of Salem and some of the things they've done, and several others. I feel like I started something and I don't want to leave anybody out, but Hoosier Uplands is so many great things. And I feel like too, that if there is somebody needing a service, if you call Hoosier Uplands or go to the mothership, which I do, and for some reason, if they don't have that service, they will show you where that service is provided. They can help you on that. And I love that.
I know that, like, when one time we had a state surveyor come in here, and I had just started in my position that I have now, and our corporate mission statement is, admission is to plan, implement, or cause to be implemented, and provide comprehensive services to the poor, elderly, and disabled. We strive to alleviate poverty, improve living conditions, and provide access to health care and social services to families and individuals in need within the service area. All our endeavors will be pursued with the client in mind, never forgetting the value of every human being or the importance of our responsibility to the public that we serve. And she was like, you guys do not do that as a home health and a hospice agency. And she was going to argue with me. So I pulled out our annual report and showed her that Hoosier Uplands isn't just home health and hospice, it's all the other services that Becky was talking about. And she was just like, oh my goodness, I've never seen anything like this. And so she was impressed by us, and she was from Indy. So I thought, you know, we do good for our small, you know, our small rural area. I think that she was impressed that people cared about people.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that, you know, that we are very blessed, and you know, it's such a blessing for our community and our for those that need that, and it comes in handy, and it's such a blessing. And from, you know, from whatever age, you know what I mean? I always say, you know, from you know, because you have the preschool, which is wonderful, to the, you know, to the elderly, to hospice, you know, from all different ages. You got it covered in between. And in, you know, this time, you know, with the last 2 years that we've had with all going on, you know, to have the Serenity Now, you know, services for anyone. And I know that they were doing them, you know, by virtual, you know, to make sure everybody stayed safe. And I'm not for sure where they're at with that right now, but, you know, that's a blessing for people that just might need to have someone to talk to, or have some, you know, good information. So I think those are, you know, again, you know, your physical needs to your mental needs, you know, Hoosier Uplands has you covered. And I just say you guys do so many great things, Melissa.
Well, thank you. I had no idea when I first started working here, all the different things that, you know, all the lives that we touched in our communities. That, you know, I do feel that David and our, you know, our board of directors really, you know, strive to look for the needs in the communities and try to find a way to fill those needs with, you know, like you said, with different grants and things that we're able to get.
Absolutely. And I've said this, you know, all along. You know, I feel like David Miller just walks in a community and he looks in and says, what can I do to help? And therefore he jumps in and you know, he definitely puts his money where his mouth is, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like he's a shaker and a mover, and Hoosier Uplands does a lot. And I think we just always need to, you know, definitely let people know what's out there. And yes, in the hospice, Melissa, I saw that's just such a blessing for families.
Now, I feel like that the girls that, you know, are out in the field in hospice, I feel like that hospice is something you're called to do. I don't feel like that it's not just a job. It's not, you know, you can't go into it just thinking, well, I'm going to start working there and that's going to be my job. I don't feel that, you know, the people that succeed in hospice and that stay in hospice and that are in hospice for years and years, you know, I don't feel that it's just their job. I feel like that is like what they are meant to be doing in their life.
I agree. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely it's a calling, and I do believe that for sure. Melissa, it's such a fun Monday. I love starting Monday off, and you know, I mean, and hopefully, you know, that we've made some sunshine for some. You know, right now, you know, trying to get some daylight sunshine coming in, and I hope that, you know, that everyone, you know, has a great day, and that, you know, that this hopefully, you know, gives a big boost to someone out there. I know it does to me.
Yeah, I think, you know, I just think that hearing positive things and hearing, you know, good stories, and, you know, I think that gives people encouragement that there's good out there.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what we need to focus on for sure. And I think that bee story will be on my mind all day. I love that story. It's good. And it's definitely and it's a good example. And, you know, and we can learn, you know, they always said you could learn about the birds and the bees, right?
We got the bee part covered. The birds will be next week.
Okay. All Right. Takes a whole new meaning, right, Melissa? No, anyway, it's fun hanging out with you, and we got a big fun week this week. We're going to be sugared up and getting some of those good McDonald's. And if you let me know if you come through Salem, and we'll have some get you some sweets from McDonald's, Melissa. And I'll get you one. What you said what's your normal drink? You said the
iced coffee.
Iced coffee. That's right. Yeah. I think that's what
it's the iced black coffee, like an black coffee on ice.
Is that what it? Okay. See, I've had it before and I love that. But see, I have to go. I always think, well, I'm going to try something new on that, which I have had them and I do love them. But I usually just go for the black coffee. I know. I'm just like I'm so boring. But it's so good. So I'll get you a nice coffee if you come through town. And I'm loving McDonald's and I love working with them. And from the McCafe, stop by your local McDonald's. We've got a wonderful McDonald's, and they do and have some fun things going on in the community all the time. So we're gonna get some people all sugared up here, okay?
And remember the ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
There you go. Very good. Very good. Very good. Very good. Well, we're starting early, I guess, before Valentine's Day, right? And Melissa, reminder that don't forget, the 13th is the big game Super Bowl. And then, of course, then Monday will be Valentine's Day.
Well, and Sean and I were talking yesterday about the football games, and pretty much we thought we were going to end up with like underdogs, like because it's like all the underdog teams won, and then the Chiefs pulled off their win, which was kind of upsetting. But
well, they call it the most. Okay, here's real quick. I'll give you the news story that came in. It was the most ridiculously excited weekend in football ever. Number one, it all started Saturday when the Cincinnati Bengals went to Tennessee and eliminated the Titans by a score of 19-16. Okay, so this number 3 is really coming in. Then the San Francisco 49ers beat the Green Bay Packers by a score of 13-10. So that was a 3-point. And now that Aaron Rodgers is out of the postseason, everybody wants to know what his future holds. Will he return to Green Bay, seek a trade, retire? Well, he hasn't decided anything yet. But one more thing he did say is that he doesn't want to be part of a rebuild. And Saturday's game marked the first time in NFL history that both number 1 seeds lost the divisional round by the same season. Number 3, Sunday's action was even better, especially if you're a Tom Brady hater. I like Tom Brady, though. I know, boo, everybody's like booing the radio. The LA Rams held a 27-3 lead over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the third quarter in Tampa, but we've seen the game before, and they tied the game 27 in part thanks to Brady, but also because the Rams didn't do their absolute best to give the game away. The critical mistakes, including 4 fumbles. But at the end, the Rams became the third team of the weekend to win on a walk-off field goal. Just like Rodgers, Brady hasn't made a decision about his future either. Number 4, the only team that was favored to win and won was Kansas City Chiefs. But it was very close. And on a weekend when every game went down to the wire, this was the best bunch, was that game. So who are you going for so far?
Well, I'm a Steelers fan, so I was wanting the Chiefs to lose because they beat the Steelers. So I was for the Bills, but now they're out, so I don't know.
Well, next week the Bengals travel to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs for the AFC title. The 49ers are in LA to play the Rams for the NFC championship. So time will tell, right?
I would say I would like to see the 49ers and Rams.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. I don't have a dog in the fight, and I didn't over the season, I didn't do fantasy football, so I really, like when I do the fantasy football, I like watch almost every game or listen to every game, just about, try to, not 100%, but I didn't do that, so I have not. I'm kind of out of the loop on some of these teams, so it'll be interesting though for sure, right?
Yeah, I was in the fantasy football league, and whenever it went into the championship parts, I did really bad this year, so I've been out for a while.
I am horrible. So I am horrible. I pick the players that no one else does because I love the underdogs. I don't know. Anyway.
Their names and stuff.
Yes.
And
Yeah. Who do I like? Yeah. And no, I was going to say their colors of the uniform. No, I'm just kidding. That's not true. But I do try to find a little bit of background, but I'm not good at it. But anyway, at least I am honest about it. I'm not good. But anyway, but back to the but a good reminder, Melissa, that we always want to just put this seed down that you have the Super Bowl on that Sunday and Valentine's Day on that Monday. So just reminding, because a lot of people walk around the Monday after the Super Bowl and they're really tired and they're sleepy because they've stayed up late because of Super Bowl. So we're just reminding everybody that Valentine's Day is that Monday. So good maybe to have something already in mind, right?
So what you're saying is that the husbands need to be
I'm working for every
their Valentine's gift before Super Bowl.
Bingo. Because I'm trying to work for every spouse out there. I'm just giving those good reminders, trying to keep love alive, because I know that on that Monday they're going to be tired, they're going to be wore out, and so are the ladies, which nobody gets cranky when they're tired, right? So let's keep love alive, and let's just go ahead and have a plan of action of some kind, right?
So what they could do is at halftime of the Super Bowl is present their Valentine's presents to one another.
Oh, there we go. Go ahead and have it covered. There you go. Well, and if you have a big Super Bowl party, and let's say by the time you do cleanup and everybody leaves, you might be striking about midnight. So at 12:01, you go ahead and exchange your Valentine's, right?
Yeah.
Probably at 12:01 you'll still be doing dishes, but yeah, nothing says loving like that. But I'm just giving food for thought, right? Just giving some good reminders. Yeah. It'll also be, Melissa, a little fun fact, it'll be the WSLM, the radio station's birthday. WSLM will be turning 69. My dad started it 69 years ago on Valentine's Day.
I knew that. I did know that.
I thought you did. I knew you would know because our families, but I just giving reminders of that too. So that's kind of fun too. So.
Oh, that is.
A little fun fact. Melissa, it's fun hanging out with you, and let's everyone have a great Monday. And remember, and Melissa, I'm going to let you kind of go back over the highlights about being kind and all of that.
We just need to be sure, and let me see here. So I've got it off my screen. This confused me. We need to be sure, and like the bees are to one another, we need to be sisters, be peers, be teammates. We can all learn a thing or two from the bees, and we need to be kind always.
Love that. Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. And that starts at home, right?
Yep, it does.
For sure. All right, everyone have a wonderful Monday, and everybody that is sick, we're we're praying for our community and pray that we can get out of that red and that everybody can get feeling better and hopefully get back to whatever they need to do and get a little bit of that. But we will be doing some McDonald's and I'm loving it. We're going to be experiencing some mornings with McDonald's and I know there's a lot of New Year's resolutions, but with people trying to eat healthier, which you can start off with some of their breakfast classics, and they have some good healthy stuff too, and I think so, right, Melissa? Yes, they do. And anyway, so we'll
fruit.
Yes, they do have the fruit and oatmeal. Yeah, absolutely. So you have some other options there too at McDonald's. So definitely a great way to start off your morning. So we'll be doing that. But I want to thank all of our other sponsors: Walmart, Meadowview Healthcare Center, Salem Crossing, Hoosier Uplands, Celebrity Home Loans, Skyline Suites, and Dr. Mindy Gunn, Dr. Black's Eye Associates. Melissa, take care and have a wonderful Monday, and let's have the best day ever, okay?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Thanks, hon. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Choose Skyline Suites Assisted Living, the number one reason it feels like home. At Skyline Suites, we offer a fresh approach with compassionate care which allows you as much independence or assistance as you want. When you begin to think about assisted living, there are many questions like how much it costs and how long you have to commit. Skyline Suites in Salem offers affordable living with no contract. We're truly unlike anything else. Schedule a tour with me, Ryan, by calling 812-320-3761.